I can't believe he called my mother. I'm just imagining that conversation. Dan has been a great partner in crime for the last couple of years, and nobody is more dedicated to this cause than he is. And when I think of Dan Loeb, I think of the phrase used to describe the U.S. Marines: there is no better friend and no worse enemy. Thank you, Dan, for being a great friend to me and to this organization. Thank you all so much. So many friends came out tonight. I'm so appreciative. My dad came all the way from Louisiana to be here. My wonderful husband came all the way from Tribeca. Yay! The great Joel Klein is here, second only to my wonderful husband. Joel, I'm so happy to see you. And Governor Bush, we're so appreciative of you speaking tonight. We really are grateful. And of course, Eva. No one even knows better than you what an interesting couple of months it's been. And I am honored to be acknowledged here because I'm just so proud to be part of this team. This is a fearless team of people, and no matter what curveballs have been thrown at them these last couple of months, they have never blinked. They have never once blinked. Like a lot of people in this room, I am just a soldier in Eva's army, so I just want to speak for a minute about why I joined the fight. It is a fight. We have to fight for these schools. I wish we didn't. I wish we could spend this evening just celebrating these extraordinary kids. It amazes me that there could be anything controversial about their achievements, about the accomplishments of Eva and the team who make all this possible. It amazes me that anyone would dare try to put a chokehold on one of the most exciting, innovative things happening in public education right now. But if we've learned one thing recently, it's that keeping these schools open, operating, and growing is a battle. It's a battle every single day, and it's not going away. It's not going away because there is no compromise possible. I was a reporter for NBC News for 11 years, and then I was at CNN for almost 3 years after that. I was hired for my first network television job by Tim Russert, a wonderful man who trained me in the ways of old school journalism. And back then, I went to work believing basically that both sides had merit and deserved a fair hearing, and my job was essentially to referee the match. But sometimes you stare at a problem and you have to say, I'm sorry, both sides do not have merit. And when the lives of children are literally hanging in the balance, you can't play referee. If we want to do what we know is right, what we know is truly right, then we have no choice. And there is no compromise possible. Even if we try to assume the best motives all around, what we are dealing with right now are two vastly different views. You cannot reconcile the view that charters are a force for good with the view that they're a threat. If we believe that our charter schools serve the best interest of kids, then any attempt to stop them or put limits on them is a limit on that good influence. And why would we ever accept a compromise like that? This should not take a team of mediators to figure out. It's not a complicated problem. There's just no middle ground. In the coming months and years, Mayor de Blasio has to choose between making a comfortable interest group more comfortable or being a true force for good in the lives of New York City's children. And like anyone who holds that office, he can protect the status quo or he can protect the public interest, but he can't do both. He can fight charters and what we do as a threat to union privilege, or he can embrace reform and the chance to be a leader and even a great mayor. But he can't do both. The other side they keep telling us charters aren't the answer, and they say, what about the other 95% of kids who can attend a charter school? Well, we're not saying that every public school kid should be moved into a charter school. All we're saying is the excellence of our charter schools should be moved into every public school. They are right. This is a fairness issue. There's no reason that all kids shouldn't be held to the same high standards. There is no reason that kids shouldn't have the same challenging curriculum, or that the educators in our district schools shouldn't have the same accountability and receive the same support and professional development. In a rational world, district schools would see the example of success academies and they would follow it instead of just resenting it. In a rational world, principals would have the power to put the best people possible in the classroom without rules restricting them that have absolutely nothing to do with the quality of learning. In a rational world, the chancellor of New York City public schools would have the power to fire a teacher who had been found guilty of sexual misconduct with a child. We do not live in a rational world. This is the issue that actually took me from being a supporter of this cause to an activist in the fight. It was a couple of years ago, and I read this article in the Daily News that listed these 14 teachers who had been found guilty of sexual misconduct with kids, and they had kept their jobs. I was so horrified by this. I mean, can you imagine if your kid was in that teacher's class? There is this crazy state law supported by the teachers union that gives tenured teachers protections no other public employee has. It took the power to fire out of the hands of the senior leadership and put it in the hands of an arbitrator who the union has a say in choosing. So even the worst offenders, people you would never consider letting anywhere near your kids, have kept their jobs after a guilty verdict. I mean, as a mother, this offended me so deeply. I mean, largely because I knew I could protect my kids from this. I have the power, I have the means. The victims here are the most disadvantaged children in this city who have no one fighting for them. So with the help and support of some of the people in this room tonight, we developed a campaign last fall to try to bring attention to this outrage and presumably change the system, because who, I naively thought, would dare defend a system that puts the rights of child molesters before the rights of kids? We got some attention for this campaign, but we haven't changed a damn thing. There's a bill that's been sitting in Albany for 2 years, and so far, we have not been able to convince our legislators that we have the same power and influence as the teachers union, so nobody wants to do anything with it. Think about the absurdity of this just for a second. We had to wage a campaign to try to win political support to get sex predators out of the classroom. We had to wage a campaign, and we haven't been successful yet. This is a screwed up system. It's corrupt and it's failing. And the other side is nothing if not relentless in keeping control over it. So we have to be just as relentless in the mission that brings us together here tonight. And that is the simple, shared belief that if any parent wants to find a better school to try to give their kid a better life, that should be no one's choice but theirs, and nothing should stand in the way of it. The good news is, look around the room, we are gaining strength. Eva said it, 11,000 parents, they got on buses, they went to Albany, they made their voices heard, the governor came out to join them. We are beginning to win battles, a few battles. And a few very influential people don't like it. And they still have all kinds of power. They have the power to stop change, to close doors, and to shut things down. And that's what they've been trying to do, and that's what they're going to keep trying to do. What gives me hope, though, is that they may still have control over certain things, but they cannot persuade. They may still have power for now, for the next few years, but they ran out of arguments decades ago. You can tell when others are on the losing side of an issue when what they fear most is competition. They hate schools like Success Academies and other charter schools because the example shows what every school can and should be for every boy and girl. By saving these children and giving them a chance, we're only reminding people of what they're being saved from, an education system that has lost its way. I just want to leave you with one thought. This is not about fighting the teachers' union. The teachers' union is doing exactly what you would expect the teachers' union to do. It is defending and supporting all teachers, good and bad, no matter what. This is about our political leadership and letting our political leaders know that this is a test of who they are. This is a matter of right and wrong, and there is no middle ground. It is letting them know that whatever political wheeling and dealing goes on, whatever decisions are made, they have a direct impact on the children of this city, the children in this room who we are celebrating tonight. So whether you speak to politicians directly, whether you do it through your campaign contributions, through your writing, or through your support for our wonderful, wonderful schools, I ask you to say to them that we can never accept a deal that compromises a child's future, because a child's hopes and dreams will never be ours to compromise away. This is a cause that deserves everything we can give it, and that's why I'm all in, and I hope you will be too. To Eva, thank you for everything that you do. To Governor Bush and to Dan, thank you for your leadership and your incredible generosity. And to everybody in this room, thank you for your kindness to me this evening. I appreciate it.